Panda Residential Energy Storage System 3-Phase Series Panda 8KT 15KT 10HS 60HS Installation Video. Chapter 1 System Introduction. Today we introduce the installation of the Panda T series of Zonergy. The core part of the whole system is the Venus T 3-phase hybrid inverter and the Limestone S battery system. Venus T 3-phase hybrid inverter type numbers are as follows. Limes S battery system models are as follows. Limestone S1030H. A single battery module capacity is 2.5 kilowatt hours. The usable capacity is 2.25 kilowatt hours. Limestone S2060QB single battery module capacity is 5 kilowatt hours. The usable capacity is 4.5 kilowatt hours. System coverage 10 to 60 kilowatt hours. Chapter 2 Unpacking. Please prepare the following tools: cable strippers, electric drill, screwdriver, electrician's knife, terminal pliers, diagonal pliers, multimeter, level, heat shrink tubing, and safety gloves. When unpacking, check the accessories and inverters according to the parts list and check whether the unit is damaged or missing. Products and accessories inside are as follows. Venus T 3-phase hybrid inverter, photovoltaic connector, battery connector, AC end waterproof cover plus blocking, communication connector, smart meter, RJ45 connector, data collector, wall mount, ground connector, tapping screw plus expansion screw, quick installation guide, PV removal tool. The inverter appearance and ports are shown as follows. Indicator, ground connection, energy storage terminal, DC switch, DC input terminal, collector interface, COM, communication interface, parallel communication interface, BMS, communication interface, AC output terminal. Chapter 3 Inverter Installation. The wall of the installation must be strong and able to withstand its weight for a long time. Install the inverter at eye height in order to facilitate future maintenance work. Need to have a shelter, IP66 protection class, can be installed indoors and outdoors. Ensure that the inverter has enough clearance. The minimum upper clearance is 300 millimeters, the lower clearance is 500 millimeters, and the two sides clearance is 200 millimeters. Recommended inverter installation angle: vertical or backward less than or equal to 15 degrees. Do not invert, tilt forward, tilt backward beyond the angle, or horizontally install the inverter. Install the inverter. First, place the wall-mounted bracket horizontally on the wall and mark the corresponding points through the holes. Use a percussion drill with a bit diameter of 10 millimeters, 0.39 inches, to drill holes and ensure that the hole depth is about 80 millimeters, 3.15 inches. Use expansion screws to secure the inverter backplate support to the wall. Hang the inverter on the support. Finally, fix the inverter to ensure stable installation. The following is the effect after the inverter is installed. Chapter 4 Inverter Connection. Preparation of battery installation cable. Step 1. Make and install ground cables. Wear insulation gloves to prepare a ground cable and connect it to the inverter. Make cable connectors of appropriate length according to the labels. The following is a prepared ground terminal. Connect the ground terminal with the inverter. Step 2. Prepare and install battery connection terminals. 1. Cable joints of appropriate length according to the mark. 2. Battery connectors need to distinguish between positive and negative electrodes. 3. Separately unscrew the battery connector. 4. Flash through the cable. Insert the connector, press the metal buckle. The cable cannot be pulled out, indicating that the card is in place. 5. Do the same with negative terminals. 6. Insert the made battery connection cable into the inverter. Hear the click sound, indicating that the card is in place. Step 3. Prepare and install the PV-DC terminal. 1. Make cable joints of appropriate length according to the mark. 2. Connect the positive metal terminal with the positive cable. Clamp the terminal, pass the cable through, insert it into the connector. Tighten the screw, and do the same for the positive terminal. 3. Through the multimeter check to detect whether the positive and negative PV poles are correct. 4. Connect the PV DC input line to the inverter. Hear the click sound, indicating that the card is in place. Note, the maximum PV voltage is less than 1000 V. Step 4. Make and install communication terminals and meter connections. 1. Make a cable connector of appropriate length with reference to the marking of the communication line. 2. Communication connector has 16 ports. 3. Turn on the communication connector and turn. Pass the cable through the communication linker. Four, plug the cable into port 78 on the communication connector. 5. Confirm the 2 ports of the 3-phase smart meter A and B. Connect the port 7 cable on the communication connector to port B on the meter, and connect the port 8 cable to port A on the meter. The following is a prepared general terminal. 6. Connect the prepared communication terminal to the inverter communication port. Step 5. Install the data collector. Step 6. Make and install the BMS communication cable. 1. First pass the cable through the BMS connector. Please make a cable connector of appropriate length according to the mark. Insert the cable into the RJ45 connector. Press the cable with crimping pliers. Tighten the screw. 2. The following is the completed BMS communication line. 3. Connect the BMS communication terminal to the inverter BMS port. Note, the BMS connection cable can be conventional network cable. Step 7. Prepare and install AC terminals. 1. Make cable joints of appropriate length according to the mark. 2. The following is a good AC terminal cable connector. 3. Backup and on-grid are produced, and a total of 10 are produced. 4. Take out the rubber sealing ring and the protective cover. The rubber sealing ring has 4 holes. The 2 large holes are the power grid and the load. The ground hole needs to be pierced with a tool. 5. In order to make a good cable through the protective cover and rubber sealing ring, load cables and power cables through 2 large holes, ground cables through the 2 sides of the small holes. 6. The following are the threaded AC terminals. 7. Confirm the on-grid and backup of AC ports. On-grid is connected to the mains port. Backup is connected to the load port. 8. L1, L2, L3. End of the on-grid of the inverter should be connected to the out end of the intelligent 3-phase electricity meter, and the cables of the GRID correspond to the IN end respectively. 9. Insert the cable into the backup and on-grid L1, L2, L3, and N terminals respectively according to the polarity indicated on the terminals and tighten the screws. 10. Push the protective cover onto the AC connection port and fasten it. Note, when wiring, the power grid needs to be cut off, not live. When connecting, ensure that the load is isolated from the public grid and AC grid terminals. The inverter has been connected. Step 7. Check the inverter before powering on. Chapter 5. Unpack the central control box and battery pack. Before unpacking, check the parts and batteries with the parts list to see if any parts are damaged or missing. Products and accessories inside include as follows: main central control box, auxiliary central control box, battery pack, base, main and auxiliary power cables, main and auxiliary communication cables, wall connecting parts, self-tapping screws, expansion tubes, stainless steel combination screws, 5-core short wiring. The battery appearance and ports are as follows: central control box, battery pack, base, display panel, circuit breaker, inverter power port, inverter communication port, debugging communication port, High voltage port. Secondary central control box communication port. Chapter 6 Installation of battery energy storage system. First, select the appropriate installation position and mark the corresponding points. Next, using a percussion drill with a bit diameter of 10 millimeters, 0.39 inches, to make sure the hole depth is about 80 millimeters, 3.15 inches. Secure the battery base to the ground. Stack battery packs one by one and install the center control box at the end. Secure the battery pack and center control box one by one to ensure stable installation. Finally, attach the battery to the wall. Chapter 7 Connecting cables to the battery system. Battery installation cables are prepared. Wear insulation gloves to make ground cables. Make cable connectors of appropriate length according to the labels. And connect to the battery pack. Chapter 8 Connection of inverter and energy storage system. Cables connecting the inverter to the energy storage system are ready. Confirm the PG&E cable connection between the inverter and the battery. Connect the power cable between the inverter and the central control box of the energy storage system. Positive to positive, negative to negative. Connect the inverter BMS and the control box BMS in the energy storage system. If multiple battery packs are used in cascade, please use the signal cable that will come with the box to connect the main and secondary control boxes. EXT power cables connect EXT ports between battery packs. Note: when the energy storage system is not cascaded, a set of battery packs, you need to plug the EXT port into the 5-pin short cable. If 2 battery packs are installed, turn on the battery circuit breaker in the secondary control box and turn on the battery switch. Check the energy storage system before powering on. Chapter 9 Power On. Before turning on the AC switch between the inverter and the power grid, use the multimeter to check whether the AC voltage is within the allowable range. Before turning on the DC switch between the inverter and the PV module, use a multimeter to check whether the DC voltage of the PV module is within the allowable range. The entire Venus T inverter and the Lime S battery energy storage system have been installed, and we are now starting to power up the entire system. Step 1. Close the inverter on GRID AC circuit breaker. Step 2. Close the inverter BACK up AC circuit breaker. Step 3. Turn on the battery switch and close the energy storage circuit breaker between the inverter and the battery. Press and hold the black button on the panel of the main center control box for 5 seconds. If you hear a click sound, the battery pack relay is successfully closed. Step 4. Turn on the DC switch of the inverter. Close the DC switch between the inverter and PV. Observe whether the 5 indicators of the inverter are all on. All on indicates that the inverter runs normally. Chapter 10 App Configuration. Search for Zonergy in the App Store, download the Zonergy app, and install it. On the home page of Zonergy app, click Register to enter the registration page and fill in the corresponding information to register. On the one-click configuration page, locate the inverter to be connected, select your Wi-Fi, and enter the Wi-Fi password. On the home page of the app, click Add to add the power station. On the home page of the app, click the icon plus in the upper right corner. Click Add Device. Enter the device serial number to add the inverter device to the power station. After the addition is complete, you can view the data of the device in the app to facilitate the management of your device.